Hello. In this video, we will discuss how to determine the sines of the trig functions of a given angle in a given quadrant. And so when you have the sine of theta is the opposite side over the hypotenuse, which is y over r. R refers to the hypotenuse. Cosecant of theta is r over y. And so they will have the same sign. When you're in quadrant number 1, if we look to the right here, x is positive and y is positive both in quadrant 1. In quadrant 2, x is negative and y is positive. In quadrant 3, x and y are both negative. And in quadrant 4, x is positive and y is negative. And so you can use this chart to help you, but generally I think of what the ratios are, and then look and think about what the signs are. And then R is always positive because it's the hypotenuse. Cosine of theta is x over r, and secant of theta is r over x. So they will have the same sign as well. Tangent and cotangent are reciprocals of each other. Tangent is y over x, and cotangent of theta is x over y. And so this chart will tell you the signs of each one. But generally, let's say I wanted to know the sign, if I had the sine of theta, what is its sign in quadrant 2? Well, I know that sine is y over r. And so looking here, I see that y is positive in quadrant 2. So therefore, the sine of theta is positive in quadrant 2. The cosine of theta in quadrant 2 is negative because x is negative in quadrant number 2. When we talk about tangent, we have y over x for tangent theta. And looking at quadrant 2, x is positive and, y is positive and x is negative in quadrant 2. So positive divided by negative is a negative. Looking at quadrant number 3, sine theta is y over r, so that's a negative over a positive, and that is a negative value. Cosine theta is x over r. X is negative in quadrant 3, so cosine theta is negative. For tangent, for y over x, that's a negative over a negative, which is a positive. And so just writing that down and looking at this slide is number 31 in the slide deck. So let's look at this particular problem. We want to find the quadrant in which a particular angle lies. And so we know that sine of theta is less than 0. Sine theta is y over r. So that tells us that y is negative. But cosine theta is x over r, and it is greater than 0. So that means x is positive. And so we know that x is positive and y is negative. And what quadrant is that? Remember, plus, plus, negative, plus, negative, negative, and then positive, negative. And so this is the quadrant where x is positive in quadrant 4, and y is negative in quadrant 4. And so this answer would be quadrant number 4. Please let your instructor know if you have any questions.